The Zorthan warden leaned against the reinforced cell door, confident in the fate of his latest prisoner. No creature survives without sustenance. The human will be begging within 3 cycles, he hissed his guards. The others laughed, eager to watch the infamous Terran broken by hunger. Inside the cell, Corporal Jack Vay sat in the dim light, listening. He had no food, no water, no comfort, just 4 metal walls, a bed slab, and silence. He smiled faintly. 3 cycles, huh? They really don't know us at all. The first days were easy. Hunger gnawed at him, but Jack had been through worse. Survival training back on Earth had taught him what most species couldn't comprehend. Humans could last weeks without food if they had to. He pushed the discomfort aside, pacing his cell, forcing his body into a rhythm. Push-ups, sit-ups, shadow boxing. He knew the guard were watching, and every rep was a message. I am not breaking. By the end of the first week, the aliens peeked through the viewport. Instead of a weakened, starving captive, they saw Jack dismantling the metal bed frame. With sparks flying from stone against steel, he was shaping crude blades. His muscles were leaner, sharper, as though hunger had carved him into something more dangerous. "Report," the warden barked. The guard stammered. He thrives. He builds weapons." The warden snarled. "Impossible. He should be skeletal by now." But when they checked again, the human was carving tools from the cell walls, his eyes gleaming with a steady fire. He wasn't withering. He was adapting. The gnaw of hunger had become focus. His movements were deliberate, his thoughts sharp. By the second week, the guards whispered strange sounds echoing from the human cell. Scraping, hammering, and something that sounded disturbingly like laughter. Fear crept into their voices. One night, the warden dared to confront him through the bars. "How do you endure, human? You should be dead." Jack looked up, shadows dancing across his gaunt but defiant face. He twirled the sharpened shard of metal he'd forged, eyes locked on the alien. "You ever hear of intermittent fasting?" he said casually, as though explaining a fitness routine. "Some of us do this on purpose." The warden recoiled, unsettled. For his species, hunger was agony, a death sentence. For humans, it was training. By the third week, silence filled the prison. The human hadn't begged once. He hadn't cried. He hadn't pleaded. Instead, his body was a weapon honed by starvation. His mind was sharper than the blades he'd carved. When the guards finally opened the cell, they expected a corpse. Instead, Jack stood tall, lean muscles taut, eyes burning with a feral determination. Tools lay at his feet, hooks, blades, ropes woven from torn bedding. The aliens froze. They weren't looking at prey. They were looking at a predator. Jack smirked and stepped forward, the sharpened shard in his hand glinting under the dim lights. "You locked me up to break me," he said, voice low and dangerous. "But you only made me stronger." The guard stumbled back in terror. The warden, trembling, whispered the truth the galaxy would never forget. Humans do not starve, they endure.